10 Funniest Ew Episodes with Jimmy Fallon. Ew with Jimmy Fallon started as a song based on a sketch from The Tonight Show, in which Jimmy and his guests play teenage girls who are repelled by the things around them. Most of the time, it's the getup of the male celebrities and the voice modulations that crack the audience up. In this video, we'll be counting down to the top 10 funniest Ew episodes with Jimmy Fallon. The most hilarious Ew episode is right at the end, so stay tuned. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Let's get it going. 10. John Cena. On this episode, Fallon dressed as Sarah and introduces the guests as one of his BFFs who had moved away 3 years ago.
Johnny next to that is one of my BFFs.
And has now transferred back to her school district. John Cena then walks down the staircase with his screen name as Addison. The audience immediately bursts into laughter at seeing how the two meet. Sarah points out that Addison looks quite different. At this, Addison's part of humor kicks in when she answers by telling Sarah that she was the complete bottom row of the cheerleader pyramid. She even tells Sarah how the football team had tried to recruit her by asking her to throw stuff, which was her thing, and that she had picked it up and liked it. Cena then, in character, throws a pillow at a flower vase to show off her strength. Next, the two decide to dance to the tunes of Bruno Mars' song Finesse. Cena picks up Fallon and twirls him, which is enough to get the audience into peals of laughter. Next in line is the speed round, where the answer for every question is initially ew, but Cena keeps changing his tone for an extra touch of humor.
Bit of a growth spurt.
My mom says I'm going through some changes.
Up next, two rather hairy guests dressed up as pretty girls. 9. Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. Sarah on the show has another one of her teenage friends coming to meet her, but little does she know that she's in for a surprise. She had invited Seth Rogen, or Elson, who seemed to have stopped on her way and bought herself a Starbucks coffee. When Sarah takes a sip from her coffee, she immediately reacts by saying that she has brain freeze. The audience bursts into laughter on the expression that Fallon has on his face. Shortly after this, Elson's phone rings, and she tells Sarah that she had mentioned to one of her friends, Britney, that she was going to be at Sarah's place and that Britney had come upstairs. Fallon then introduces Zac Efron as Britney, who comes down and tells the two about her new phone. The trio then takes selfies, and the audience is in for a treat because the expressions that each of them has on their faces while clicking pictures are instantly funny. They also dance to the beats of Turn Down for What? And now watch the former First Lady shake it up with Jimmy Fallon on Ew. 8. Will Ferrell and Michelle Obama. On this episode, Sarah introduces her BFF Stacy, who is actually Will Ferrell. As Stacy comes downstairs, the audience cracks up first at the look that Ferrell has. Next, Stacy tells Sarah that she's been to the mall with her friends and got herself a Harry Styles poster. She added that the best part was that kissing Harry's poster felt like kissing him in real life. Stacy then goes on to kiss Styles' poster. Sarah then introduces her next guest, which, to the surprise of the audience, is First Lady Michelle Obama. They all then have a shy face-off since Stacy and Sarah are overwhelmed by Michelle's presence. The trio then discusses the Olympics and share a triple hand hug as it's revealed that all of them like figure skating the most. The trio then dances when Michelle tells them that dancing counts as exercising, followed by a game of speed round where, at a point when Ferrell's photo card is drawn up, Stacy says that she thought Ferrell was cute and ends up kissing the card. Did you know that Channing Tatum looks utterly adorable dressed up as a girl? 7. Channing Tatum. On this episode, the guest Channing Tatum plays the role of Sarah's bestie, Susie. The audience starts laughing at the sight of Channing and the way the two greet. Susie then shares with Sarah that she has 2 tickets to the One Direction show, but since her father was going to drive her there, Sarah could not go to the concert with her. The two then decide to cheer up by having a smile-off. The smile-off comes out to be the highlight of the entire episode. Sarah and Susie have a hand hug, and Sarah refers to the duo as Smile Queens. Sarah then inquires Susie about the dance lessons she'd taken in hip-hop and if she could perform something. Susie instantly responds by saying that she did take lessons and then goes on to dance to some tunes. Tatum's moves are more than sufficient to crack up the audience who clap and cheer. Sometimes certain segments on Ew episodes can get a little too much to handle, like the kissing one in this next clip. 6. Demi Lovato. Fallon introduces his guest on the episode as one of his besties for a long time. It's Demi Lovato as Emily Loveson. Emily tells Sarah that she'd been to the mall to pick out a dress for the spring fling, and she wanted to know Sarah's opinion on the dress. Emily pulls out a green dress and stands in front of Sarah, who says that the dress had puffy sleeves and the emerald green color was the best feature about it. Next, the two decide to take emoji photos, and Sarah wants to go first. She picks the winky face emoji, and Demi picks the laughing out loud emoji. The audience has a good laugh looking at the expressions both have on their faces while taking the selfies. Shortly after this, Emily has a question for Sarah that if some guy at the spring fling would want to kiss them, what would they do? To this, Sarah responds by pulling out 2 pillows, which she refers to as her crush cushions. The two then practice kissing hilariously. Despite it being kind of ridiculous, Ew has witnessed some of the biggest celebrities to make an appearance on it. 5. Miley Cyrus. In this episode, as always, Fallon refers to this guest as his character Sarah's best friend, Becky. Miley Cyrus then comes down the stairs and greets Sarah as teenage girls would, and the audience starts laughing looking at their mutual greeting. Becky shares with Sarah how she spent her summer at a theater camp and how she had been to the Grand Canyon on a family vacation.
No, first I was at theater camp, then I had to go on a family vacation to the Grand Canyon.
Ow.
She also adds that it was just a big deep hole and remarks that it didn't even have Wi-Fi. The two then decide to arrange for some back-to-school memes and pose to have photos taken. Next, the duo discusses the homecoming dance, and to prepare for it, they let out some moves only to be interrupted by Sarah's father, Gary. Lastly, after the speed round, Sarah and Becky each enjoy a cup of spiced pumpkin latte, and Fallon's reaction is priceless with his tone. It sure has the audience cracking up. Up next, another pop icon, all dressed up just for Ew. 4. Britney Spears. In this Ew episode, Britney Spears plays the character of Abigail, Sarah's best friend. They discuss how they had gone to the camp as children, and one time Sarah had forgotten her mermaid pillow in her bunk, and Abigail had brought it back with her. Next, Abigail tells everyone about her obsession with horses and how she wanted to keep 40 horses when she grew up. On this topic, Fallon uses the icebreaker that he had read online and can get the audience to laugh out loud. The duo next discusses their Throwback Thursday posts, and as Abigail shows her post, the audience thinks she really looks cute, but little did they know that Fallon had a surprise for them. Jimmy has his face with a wig and makeup as Sarah cropped and pasted on the body structure of a toddler. Then they play a game of fashion freeze where they would stop at a fashion pose when the other person says freeze. And while Britney's poses are adorable, all of Fallon's poses have the audience laughing. Even Lindsay Lohan couldn't stay away from Ew for too long. 3. Lindsay Lohan. Sarah describes the guests on this episode as her BFLFR, best friend for life for real. Lindsay Lohan then comes on stage portraying her character of Stephanie. The two sit down and start by discussing what Stephanie had been up to. To this, Stephanie responds by telling Sarah that she'd seen the latest One Direction movie, and Sarah exclaims that she loved Harry. Next, Sarah asks Stephanie if she'd seen the new Miley Cyrus video in which she was twerking. Stephanie says no to that and also adds that twerking was out of trend and that they should have a scrump off. The two then have a scrump off and the audience bursts into laughter looking at the two. As usual, Gary, Sarah's dad, walks in on the two and tells them about the ready food and also sings a song on the ready hamburgers. It seems that all the popular celebrities are Sarah's besties on Ew. 2. Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande on this episode plays the character of Alexa, one of Sarah's besties, of course. Alexa and Sarah meet with a very special greeting gesture. As the two sit down, Sarah asks Alexa what they'd been up to recently. To this, Alexa replies that she's quite upset because she posted a picture and it only had 3 likes, out of which one was that of her father. To cheer her up, Sarah says that they should take a BFF selfie. Next, Fallon introduces a new segment on the show where Sarah and Alexa have a sing-off. After Sarah is done, the audience has a good laugh, and the way that Sarah motivates Alexa increases the dose of humor as Grande participates only to destroy Sarah in the end. And now to the number 1 entry on our list. I saved the best for last, but first I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it. It really works. 1. Taylor Swift. For a change, the guest on this episode, Natalie, is introduced not as a friend of Sarah, but as the daughter of her mother's college best friend. When Natalie comes downstairs, Sarah wants a hand hug, but Swift, on the other hand, greets her with a fist bump. Next, Sarah asks Natalie some questions about her and learned that Natalie liked apricots, was 13 years old, and spent her free time building popsicle stick castles. Sarah furthers the conversation by asking Natalie about her favorite TV show, to which Natalie responds by saying that her mom hadn't allowed her to watch TV since Miley Cyrus twerked. Sarah went on and on with the topic of TV shows and insisted that Natalie should watch Pretty Little Liars. At one point, the tone in which Fallon talked and the way he said "ew" was enough to have the guests rolling with laughter. The two then had a dance-off on Selena Gomez's song, only to be interrupted by Sarah's father, Gary. So, which of these Ew episodes do you think was the funniest? Do let us know in the comments section below. And don't go anywhere without subscribing to our channel for more interesting videos. Thanks for watching, and have an excellent day.